Soldiers, sailors, airmen and women enlist in the armed forces for many reasons, including a sense of duty, patriotism, the adventure, travel, and adrenaline. When service members are injured or wounded and can no longer perform their military duties, they quickly find themselves removed from their team, no longer serving the purpose for which they trained.
I came back from Afghanistan in 2013, and it was kind of a trial and error of finding out, after the military, what's next in life.
Motorsports offers an opportunity to regain that sense of identity within a safe, fast-paced team environment, providing a renewed sense of purpose. Like in the military, in motorsports the goal is in accomplishing the mission, winning as a team, collectively celebrating the successes and supporting teammates through the losses. Operation Motorsport also offers virtual engagements and recovery opportunities through an iRacing league, engaging beneficiaries in a safe, competitive environment from the comfort and safety of their home. Operation Motorsport believes in the power of team, identity, and purpose.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Podium Esports coverage of the fourth round for the Operation eMotorsport iRacing Summer League, powered by Reclaro. Live from iRacing's virtual Long Beach Street Circuit in Long Beach, California. Good evening, I am your host, Taylor Burris, joined by my colleague in the booth, Rachel Whiteford. Our producer for this evening is Gary Sexton. Gary is using cameras created by Dougie Beard. We are here in beautiful, sunny California on Shoreline Drive here at the Long Beach Street Circuit. The tight twists and turns will challenge some of the greatest names in motorsports, and tonight, our drivers will face this circuit here for the next 30 minutes. Rachel, it is a pleasure to be here at this street circuit, one of iRacing's newest street circuits that's been added. A lot to look forward to with these GT3 cars and GTE cars.
Yes, there certainly is, and I'm looking forward to this one, especially because we always have amazing races here at Long Beach, but the racing's so clean in this series, it's going to make it really, really exciting to see what exactly happens around this track. Now, we talk about it being an amazing place. Now, this current layout we're running is about 1.9 miles long, just over 3 kilometers, and it's a temporary road course laid out in the city streets of Long Beach, and it surrounds the convention center. So this is literally the city streets, makes it bumpier than normal and much more aggressive for the drivers. And the convention center actually was the paddock during the old Formula One days when it was here. Now, the circuit is primarily going over the former location of the Pike Historic Amusement Zone, and the track is noted for its last section with the sharp hairpin, a very, very, very tricky corner there, which leads us up the front straight onto the Shoreline Drive, I believe it's called. The circuit is situated on, of course, the waterfront here. Palm trees everywhere, beautiful California scenery, and it's qualified as an FIA Grade 2 circuit. It has changed a lot since '75 when it was first run. Its current version, of course, is the safest, but it has hosted everything from GT racing, from American Le Mans, to IMSA, to kart, IndyCar, and now Operation Motorsport.
Oh, of course, and of course you also had the Toyota Celebrity All-Star race that ran here for many decades until the late 2010s, but as we see right now, qualifying is underway, so while we are seeing some of these drivers out there on the track, to give you a quick rundown, Dave Hines is your Pro Class pole sitter currently, Rodney Campbell, your Open Class GT3 pole sitter, and then also Hunter Reeve is your Beneficiary Class GT3 pole sitter. We have a very special guest joining us here for pre-race festivities. It is, of course, our special guest, the co-founder of Operation Motorsports, Diesel Lauder, joining us up here into the booth today as we move Diesel up in. Diesel Lauder, of course, once again, is the CEO and co-founder of Operation Motorsports. Diesel, welcome to the booth here. How are you tonight? And I think we just got to make sure his microphone is unmuted and we'll be good to go.
Easy. Guys.
All good?
Yeah, all good.
So, Diesel, please tell us a little bit about your journey and what inspired you to start Operation Motorsports with your wife, Tiffany.
Well, the journey was one of 35 years served in the airborne, and I used motorsports myself as a transition into civilian life, and it proved to be very worthwhile for me, and I could see the similarities between life in the military, how we deploy in team groups, the purpose and identity that you take with you. And so we were fortunate enough to meet up with some folks from Mission Motorsport in 2016 and saw the wonderful work they were doing in the UK with ill, injured, and wounded service members, and said, you know what, we have to do this. And the goal was only to bring some Canadians and US service members, veterans over just to compete. And one thing led to the next, and the next thing you know, we're now 4 years into being a foundation with great results.
It certainly is a lot of great results, a lot of great work that you do. But talk a little bit about your role as the CEO for Operation Motorsports.
So my role primarily is looking at the future, seeing where we're going to go, forging that path of the vision, staying on course to the mission, and having that 5-year outlook, and for new partners, new opportunities, new ways to evolve. Like through COVID, we had to figure out everything. What we thought was going to be wasn't, and it's that evolution and how that translates. And today we have iRacing, and we'll use that going forward as developed into driver development. So it's how we grow and how we remain relevant to the community that we're serving.
Well, it's a wonderful community that you have, and you mentioned a 5-year plan ahead of time in the future, but let's just look to 1 year ahead. What do you and your staff of Operation Motorsports look forward to the most in 2022?
I think all of us look forward to the future being somewhat more accessible to our beneficiaries, and having more team partners and more opportunities. And that we have the academy program that's coming. One of our drivers tonight, Theo Brolsma, is one of those individuals who is on the inaugural driver development program. He learned his craft here, and he'll be licensed this year, and we hope to see him racing next year. So exciting things ahead for us.
Very exciting things ahead for you guys and for Thiesel. One final question, of course, everyone wants to know, how can people get involved with Operation Motorsports and its program, which directly benefit wounded service members, not just in the United States, but also in Canada?
Well, the easy answer is go to the website and hit the apply button, and it's a really simple process of either hitting the apply button for beneficiaries or applying as a volunteer. It's amazing how many volunteers we get that say, this has helped me, although I'm not a beneficiary per se, but just getting involved and giving back to the community. So, find us, look for us, join us tonight on the chat in any way. Tell your friends about what we do, and that's how people can find us.
Well, we will make sure that we tell as many people as possible. Diesel, thank you so much for joining us this evening on tonight's broadcast. We look forward to seeing what tonight's action brings here at Long Beach.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the great your work you're doing for us.
Of course. That is Diesel Lauder, the co-founder and CEO of Operation Motorsport. Again, to learn more about Operation Motorsport, visit their website at operationmotorsport.org. Qualifying still underway here as the timer shows about 1:45 left on the clock. A couple of cars still out there trying to get a final lap here. Rachel, let's briefly go over the classes that we will see out here tonight. We have 3 different classes, 2 different styles of race cars.
Absolutely do. Of course, we have the GTE cars. Those are the blue plates you'll see. These are the pro class. They are competition license holders, either past or present, and iRacers with a road I rating above 1900. Then we have red. This is the open class, open to active service members and Operation Motorsports supporters. They are racing in GT3 cars. Also in GT3 cars is the class we're all here for, the beneficiaries. And this is open to all the beneficiaries for the Operation Motorsports helps. And those are the green plates, so you'll see those on the time of scoring and in the races.
Certainly is great to see all these different styles of race cars, these different manufacturers still up here competing at this track. Of course, we'll see these cars competing at Long Beach later on this year with the IMSA Sports Car Series comes later in the late summer, early fall. So as we are working our way for the final minutes, we will go ahead momentarily to give you your starting lineup here, as pretty much the field has been set. I see one car still out on the track. That is Dylan Rhetoric in the number 78. I don't think he'll be able to complete his lap before time expires. So as the grid is about to roll up, your pole sitter overall and for the pro class will go to Dave Hines. He is currently your points leader in the pro class, followed by Christopher Pies in second. Kurt Poulter will be starting in the 3rd position, followed by Brendan Cedric in the 4th position. Dustin Burkholter will be starting 5th, with Tyler Gilmette in 6th. 7th goes to Jason McSparran, and then we go to our open class. Your pole sitter for that will be Rodney Campbell in 8th overall, your pole sitter for the open class, followed by Mario Gonzalez, 2nd in class. He will start 9th overall, rounding out your top 10, but your pole sitter for the beneficiary class will be Hunter Reeve.
11th place tonight, and the beneficiary is John May there in 11th, with 12th, Tyler Beeman from the open class. 13th is Brock Hogan from the beneficiaries, with 14th, Rick Haslett of the open class. Behind him, John Winker from the beneficiaries in 15th, with 16th, Mark Bray is open. Another open class driver, Glenn Gray in 17th. Chris Ramirez from the beneficiaries in 18th. 19th is Tyler Reed from the open class, with Tim Bernard from the beneficiaries in 20th. 21st tonight is Justin Jarrett, beneficiary, as are Joshua O'Connor in 22nd, Philip Cartier in 23rd, and Dylan Rederick in 24th.
Rederick did not get a time posted before time expired in his Mercedes. We do see a mix of other cars out on the track besides the Mercedes, one of Rachel's favorites out there as far as GT3 machinery, but we will also see Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, BMW, Chevrolet Corvettes, and so much more that will be out on the circuit as the iRacing Porsche pace car will lead them down the West Shoreline Drive, heading them over to the hairpin corner, one of the most, I would have to say, one of the most infamous corners in all of motorsports, where we see so much chaos. Will we see that happening here tonight, Rachel?
I hope so. It's great.
It certainly is. It's going to be exciting as they work their way underneath the Firestone Bridge, heading over towards that hairpin. This is where you have to make sure you get into the braking zone, and hopefully no other drivers makes contact with you. Some drivers will even swing it out that wide, as we see Dave Hines. But as they head down Shoreline Drive, the pace car pulls off, and as they come towards the start-finish line, green flag is out, and we are underway for 30 minutes here at Long Beach. Side by side. A very great start indeed, as Christopher Pies will take the lead in his Ferrari as they make the run over into turn number 1 here. Hard braking zone as they head over towards the fountain turn.
Fountain's going to be one of the hardest on the start of a lap here, because you're coming in here, a lot of cars in close space, and you've got to go left and right and then left again. Really, really tight section there, can really upset the cars. Everyone getting through here as beneficiary class and open class coming up now. So much slower in a straight line there than the GTE cars as they come up now towards that fountain turn. It's going to be tight, but Hunter Reeve, he's been showing great performance really, and he's looking like he's looking on for another run here. In fact, it was Reeve last week that won for the US, or the Army, I should say. I'm not going to say US or Canadian, but the Army in general. Last week we got Reeve coming through there, so good for him. And see if we can do it in another race as well, especially somewhere as tricky as this.
Certainly is. We'll give a quick update. There was a little bit of contact heading into Fountain Turn. That was Tyler Reed and several other drivers. Tyler able to continue on racing here. A pass for the 5th position in the Pro Class momentarily as they approach that tight hairpin, the final corner before they head down the West Shoreline Drive. Dustin Burkholter in his Porsche actually coming down pit road.
I think that's one of those things we have to kind of expect. We might see a bit of occasionally, as people will hit pit road here more than they might only in the track, as our GT3 car, coming through the final corner now for the first time on a hot lap, and behind big concertina effect as they all back down there coming through, looking towards the GTE cars there going through the fountain and onwards. It's really getting busy.
It certainly is. You're keeping an eye as Dustin Burkholter comes down pit road. John May and the rest of the field working their way over into turn number 1, heading over to the fountain turn. Keeping an eye on the point situation for that beneficiary class. We have to keep an eye on, of course, leading the beneficiary class is none other than John May. He has a 4-point advantage over Jonathan Winker after their extraordinary runs that they had at Laguna Seca. As we keep an eye, Theo Broselma, who sits in 3rd, Brock Hogan, Philip Cartier, rounds out your top 5 in that beneficiary class, while Tyler Beamon leads in the open class, and then, of course, Dave Hines, your points leader in the pro class.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is definitely going to shake out into an interesting battle at this track. It's just such an awkward place for racing, but it makes it so much fun when you get that. We know Reed is there on pit road at the moment, and so is Justin Jarrett, one of our beneficiaries coming off pit road at this time. As, yeah, even a slight contact here. There's no runoff, Taylor, which makes it so difficult for these guys. A slight mistake will put you in race-ending potential issues, but thankfully they have fast repairs. They can get those cars back on track. It's just a matter of time they lose.
Well, one driver who's going to need a fast repair, we just talked about him, John Winker. He had a spin coming towards the back half of the course. He is coming out of the hairpin right now. He's going to make the turn to pit road to get one of those much-needed fast repairs to get back out on the racing circuit and continue on his way. As we go up the field, we have a battle for the beneficiary class lead. You have three cars, Brock Hogan, John May, and Hunter Reeve, battling for that class position. This is going to get exciting as they head towards the East Shoreline Drive.
Yeah, they definitely are, and Shoreline is such a huge run for these guys. Really just lets them de-stress after what is actually a very stressful lap around the majority of this track, Taylor. So Shoreline is a huge relief for them.
It certainly is. Now heading down Seaside Way as they work their way through. Take a little chance to breathe, as you pointed out, and try to set yourself up for the more chaotic side of the racing circuit as you head towards the Firestone Bridge, and then, of course, that final pretty much 90-degree corner when you or 180-degree corner where you just loop it back around and head down Shoreline Drive. Battle overall in your open class also as they come out of there, as Rodney Campbell is trying to hold off Mario Gonzalez. It is Ferrari versus Mercedes.
Very much is, and it's definitely getting busy up there. That's P2E class Gonzalez as we look here. Reeve's still behind them, so he's holding on here, but he's in a different race. So this is one thing we've noticed, Taylor. Reeve fights his own fight. He doesn't get involved with the open class guys, even though they're in the same cars realistically. But right now he has to be worried because John May is right up behind him, so he's going to have to get involved here with the likes of Reeve and Gonzalez. And one thing I'm seeing here, there's some very interesting cars out front here. We got a Ferrari followed by a Mercedes, and the leader in the beneficiaries is also Mercedes. It's almost like they're doing great at this track.
Mercedes seems like they are doing a great job here. Of course, you have three different manufacturers in your top three, and then you have four in your top five overall in the GT3 class when you throw in the Lamborghini of Brock Hogan. We have seen at times throughout the season, though, where we've had five different manufacturers holding on to the top five in overall racing with these GT3 cars. It just shows the wonderful work that the balance of performance for these cars tends to work out. And speaking of BMW, there you see Tyler Beamone in that sixth position overall, third in open class.
Yeah, try and do what you can there. Chris Pies here on your screen. Pies leading the way right now from Hines with Poulter and Leclerc up front in your GTE cars with Guillemette and McSparren back there, running kind of last in that front group, although Burkhalter is a little bit further back from the pro class. He's running behind other traffic because of an incident. So as Hines in P2, and he's not far here from Pies, but it might as well be an eternity at a track like Long Beach because that is a big gap.
It is. The gap right now is currently 1.2 seconds as they come out of the final corner, heading down Shoreline Drive to come across the start-finish line here. A good opportunity for drivers to try to set up a draft if you're close enough to make a pass going into turn number 2, heading over towards the fountain corner. But you have to time it right and get close enough for a chance of this as they enter turn 2 over towards Aquarium Way. A great opportunity to see some great racing action as they come underneath the fountain, heading down towards the back half of the course.
Very much so. Coming through that final corner there, look at them all funneling through the under the Motegi sign there, just so tight, and you can't even really use the corner to its full extent. And it's even worse because it's the corner exit where you set up for a run on a straight. That's where all the speed comes from in a lap. And the final corner here, you can't. You're just trying to get out of the corner and not end up in the wall. So any speed you get is basically from almost a dead stop coming out.
I gotta say, our very own pro class leaders had a very tense moment momentarily. Justin Jarrett kind of botched it into the tires a few moments ago, right in front of your pro class leaders of Christopher Pies and Dave Hines. He was able to get out of the way quickly, and no harm, no foul for your top two in pro class as they will continue on.
Yeah, they very much will do, of course, and we're on lap, I believe, number 6 at the moment. Definitely going to be eating away at their concentration, eating away at their resolve here. This is really draining. You have to be so precise, Taylor. That's the one thing that I think the viewers need to understand here is Long Beach, you must concentrate the entire time. You can't really get into a rhythm because you can come around a blind corner here and something will be there that you will not expect. A spun out car. It completely takes away any chance to just rest and get into a rhythm. You've got to attack every lap at Long Beach like it's literally the first or last one.
It certainly is, Rachel. These cars are on a thin line. These drivers are trying to be razor focused on every opportunity that they have. You have to almost hold your breath every single lap. Breathe a little bit when you're heading down Seaside Way or the Shoreline Drive, but after that, hold your breath again and get back on the throttle as you try to get through some of these more chaotic corners that we see here at the Long Beach Street Circuit as they work their way towards the back half of the course, towards the final corner, that 180-degree hairpin turn. As you see our race leaders in the pro class nose to tail coming up on lap traffic in the beneficiary and open class. They'll make quick work of him in that Porsche as they whiz on by through, heading down towards turn 2.
You know, there's something happening in September, I think.
There is, and it's
the start. It's about the 12th. It's in New York.
It is in New York, so we go from the sunny beaches in California to later on in the month of September, on September 12th, as briefly, though, we have the contact on the track for one of our drivers, Tyler Gilmetti. We'll go back to that here momentarily, but Operation Motorsport Benefit 4 Hour of the Glen on September 12th at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. GT3s and GT4s will take off for a 4-hour, 2-man team event at Watkins Glen, as you see the replay there with Tyler Gilmetti. Great racing action happening at Watkins Glen, benefiting, of course, Operation Motorsport. And apparently, from what our flyer says, that we will have pro class level drivers possibly on the entry list, and then of course your amateur drivers running in the GT4 class as well as in the GT3 class if they choose to do so. So to learn more information about the weekend schedule, registrations, donations, visit www.madsimracing.com/OPMO. To learn more about Operation Motorsport and their mission, visit operationmotorsport.org. Rachel, it's a great cause. Of course, it's on the weekend of 9/11. Hard to believe that was 20 years ago coming up.
Yeah, it's crazy, and well, we'll have to see. But the race right now is looking exciting. But I tell you what, that 4-hour race, we're going to be there with you, of course. Myself and Taylor, looking forward to bringing you the broadcast from Watkins Glen. All 4 hours, we're going to have a party. It is going to be amazing. If you like the commentary on the races every week, we're going to bring our extra special A game to the Watkins Glen race. It's going to be huge. You have to be there. But right now on the racetrack, it is still Chris Byers leading the way pretty ceremoniously from Dave Hines, who's about 0.6 back at the moment. Campbell has about a second here on Gonzalez, and Reeve is still fighting well here. But Brock Hogan has passed John May now to take up second in that beneficiary category. So it's Reeve, Hogan, May there, followed by Bernard in 4th and O'Connor in 5th for your beneficiary class. So Reeve still has a good gap. Brock Hogan just got past May, so those two fighting will help Hunter.
It certainly will help Hunter quite a lot, and it has extended that gap to about a 1.2 second. It's starting to close up just a little bit as the Porsche and Lamborghini go at it. Of course, these two will be future competitors, not just in GT racing, but also in the new LMDH. As the 78 car goes around, as Dylan Rhetoric, he's going to hold the brakes and continue to request a tow, but the world of sports car ever changing, as we know. Lamborghini, Porsche consider going into the LMDH prototype category. That'll be kicking off in 2023 as we see these two battling it out in Long Beach. It's going to be interesting to see what are these two manufacturers, as well as others such as BMW, Ferrari, and many more, come up with their designs for these amazing things that we see in the world of sports car racing.
Yeah, it's always fantastic to see the latest and greatest innovations in exactly what they do. But I think we've got something coming up right now, Taylor.
We certainly do right now, as we will take a side-by-side. You will not miss any of the action that you see here at Long Beach. You are watching the Operation eMotorsport event powered by Recaro, live from Long Beach, California on the Long Beach Street Circuit.
On average, 22 veterans from North America commit suicide every single day. That's one veteran for every second of this video.
So I fueled the number 19 car for GXDT Racing. CrowdStrike AWS, our sponsors, this weekend. It's kind of awesome. You know, fueling a car during a race requires, you know, full race suit or full fire suit, full Nomex, underwear, long johns. It's pretty hot in there. It's not too dissimilar than things that you do in the Army, especially. There is a ton of safety with it. You know, race fuel is somewhere between 100 and 110 octane, and if it hits the side exhaust on these Mercedes GT3s, it's an instant fire, so it's kind of a big deal. You going over the wall is also a big deal. I mean, that's a kind of rite of passage working a crew, and when you get a chance to go over the wall and you do it right, you nail it the first time, it's always a big deal. I guess as coming to a new team, you know, DXDT's been a partner with Operation Motorsport now for 2 seasons, but stepping up to their GT3 program is a big deal, and they've taken care of me. Getting into a team that is like, hey, don't care where you came from, don't care how you got here, your gears, you're gonna work, and you're gonna work hard. that's really that's what this whole program is about. So this has been a great weekend here in Sonoma, California. Weather's bore with us mostly, and we're gonna enjoy the decently warm weather for early March, and have another great race too today.
Welcome back to coverage on Podium Esports, the Operation eMotorsport iRacing Summer League powered by Recaro. Live here from the virtual Long Beach Street Circuit in Long Beach, California. Taylor Burris, Rachel Whiteford, along with Gary Sexton here, covering you all the sights, sounds, and stories here. And we have a battle for the lead in the beneficiary class between Brock Hogan and Hunter Reeve. Porsche versus Lamborghini as they head down the Shoreline Drive, heading over towards the Fountain Turn. It's a great battle between these two who have been racing since the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, it really is, and they've had a great run in this section so far. We did just miss, of course, earlier. Brock Hogan had a bit of a wobble, but he's caught back up again. Although I think May has gotten through. No, May's still behind him there. But, brings us on to a really good point here. We do want to touch on, of course, we do this every race, but our beneficiary this week. And our beneficiary this time round is, in fact, Brock Hogan. So, yeah, good time to slip on the racetrack. Brock, of course, born in Edmonton, Alberta in 1989. He joined the Canadian Armed Forces in 2009, and he completed numerous Army courses such as Recon, Para, Mountain Operations, Tactical Intelligence, Operator, as well as more high-level courses and qualifications. This guy sounds like an absolute Chad. But Brock, of course, did a tour overseas. He was also deployed once on a domestic operation in 2015 near to Prince Albert, and in 2018, he suffered a seizure at home. Brock was diagnosed with a brain tumor in his left temporal lobe. In 2019, he underwent brain surgery at the University of Alberta, and with the proper team of doctors and medication, his outcome appears to be positive, and he's looking towards a full recovery, which is fantastic. Brock's always had a huge interest in motorsports and wants to get into the industry, and thanks to Operation Motorsport, that dream has started to become a reality. He heard about them from a military friend who was also interested in motorsports, and upon reading up on their mission statement and noting what they'd been doing for injured vets, Brock decided to apply to the organization that he respected. He's been participating in the Sim series, using this as practice to help learn more about racing series and driving. He's also run simulated endurance racing with the TWAF team, meeting both Trevor and Travis Hill, and been blown away by their experience and knowledge. So, Brock Hogan, here's to you this week.
Brock Hogan currently now has dropped to third position now, as we just saw on screen. Had a little bit of a situation earlier on, made some contact with Tyler Beamon also, as he will see later on. But as you're on board with him, a couple of more updates to give. Kurt Poulter is now your race leader in the pro class in his Porsche 911 RSR. He was able to get around Christopher Pies for the race lead, and it's a three-car battle once again between Poulter, Pies, and Hines as they work their way down Seaside Way, heading towards the back half of the final few corners towards the Firestone Bridge and the hairpin.
Yeah, certainly are, of course. The hairpin being one of our nasty spots. That's where Brock had a little bit of a wobble earlier on. It will bite you, and if you just get the car slightly out of shape, it will really, really hurt. So, looking at Hines there, and Poulter's just jumped forwards. He's had a great performance in this series so far, but he waited his time out, and he's just jumped Pies and Hines, and he's making a big pile of baked beans out of everything.
He certainly is. Currently sits second in the point standing in the pro class, looking to see if he can take a leap ahead over Dave Hines for the points lead in the pro class as he worked his way out of the fountain curve, heading down towards the back half of the course towards Seaside Way. A little bit of lap traffic in front of him, one of the GT3 Porsches from the, I believe that's going to be the open or the beneficiary class in front of him, car number 59, which I believe, as we look at timing and scoring, is driven by Joshua O'Connor, who's having a quiet run, sitting in 10th overall, sitting in the 6th position in the beneficiary class. So a good job for him as we see our overall pro class leaders work their way by.
Yeah, we certainly do. Looking there on board with Joshua O'Connor from the beneficiaries. He's in P10 right now, as you just see how narrow and tight this track is, how twisty these sections are coming through the final section. Now, this is the final hairpin. This is the nasty one. You can't even see where you're going until now. Yeah, right when you're about to kiss the wall is when you can see where you're going at the track out point. It's horrible. It really is.
I believe we have a situation for Hunter Reeve. He has been passed by both John May and Brock Hogan. And he had an lost control of his Porsche number 44 just before that 90-degree hairpin that allowed Brock Hogan to get by him. John May was able to pass him moments ago, coming towards or heading over towards Seaside Way. John May made a beautiful pass to the inside that allowed him to get over the race lead. There you see the replay of Hunter Reeve getting a little bit loose, heading towards that 180-degree hairpin corner, having to back it up and continue on his way. He now sits third in class, 5th overall.
Yeah, definitely are at the moment as our lap time running down here. We're in the final 6 minutes, well, just under 7 minutes actually, the race, and it's still pretty tight, of course, at the top with Poulter, Pies, and Hines. They're all over each other. Two guys at the front of the open class, Campbell and Gonzalez, as always, still on top of each other. And May is currently running out front here for your beneficiaries. That is huge for him, of course. Reeves gone back to third in class with Hogan in second. Hogan and May really all over each other at the moment, so we're looking to see how this one evolves.
Ooh, a big checkup over in the hairpin for your top three, including Brock Hogan, as they came out of there, a little bit of bobbling and checkup. They were able to get themselves sorted out, as there's Kurt Poulter around.
Yeah, that's big for Pies and Hines, of course. That completely throws Poulter towards the rear of his group here. And he has to wait for all this traffic. It's a terrible spot for it.
That was contact between him and Christopher Pies. As you take a look at the replay of this incident, as you will see, it looks like Christopher Pies will try to make a pass on the outside. Kurt tried to maybe throw a little bit of a too late of a block right there, and there's the contact, and around Kurt Poulter will go. Unfortunate for him and his number 3 Porsche.
Certainly did. In fact, I think we had a little bit of a moment again for Poulter. No, his car's just looking a little squirrely, actually. He caught some serious curbage and had to drift it back towards a stop. He managed to get it on track there, but I think he's just lost the fire there. He's just gone so far back now. It's so sad.
Very sad indeed, of course, for Kurt Poulter, the man of many manufacturers. We've seen him drive from BMWs to Ferraris and now Porsches once again. As we watch on for the overall battles, you have the top two in pro class in front, or right behind the leader in the beneficiary class of John May, and then right in front of John May, you have the class lead for the open class between Rodney Campbell and Mario Gonzalez. So this is a great camera angle to keep an eye on right here, as you see lap traffic coming involved. A tight pass right there for Rodney Campbell heading into the fountain turn. A very brave move heading into that corner, as it's 3 wide back around John May as Dave Hine goes around.
Yeah, that is not going great. Managed to spin that car back around again, but right in front of traffic. This is what I said about finding someone ahead of you sideways on a blind corner. And this opens things up for Pies, of course, there hugely, as May working his way through back markers now. Brock Hogan can see him. There's still time to catch, and Reeve, he's drifted way further back, so he's really lost some time here.
Yeah, you try to take it 3 wide in that corner, and there's the contact between John May along with Dave Hines. More contact, as Brock Hogan couldn't avoid that Porsche of Dave Hines. Unfortunate for him. Dave still maintains that second position. He has about a 2.9 second lead over Brandon Cedric in his number 86 Chevrolet Corvette, as he is trying to track down Dave Hines. The first time we've seen a Corvette up inside the top 3.
Wait, there are Corvettes in this series?
There is Corvettes.
Oh my
There's
God,
2 of them.
There are. Wow. I mean, I think I'd probably be more surprised if I found a Space Force vet in the series.
Well, the good news is there is no Renaults in disguised as Corvettes.
Oh, yeah. They'd be Renaults. Yeah, they'd be driving Renaults.
Yes.
I don't think there actually are any Space Force veterans yet, are there?
I don't think so. We have yet, unless they have not revealed themselves to be.
No, that's a good point.
No Space Force or Coast Guard have yet to be revealed racing in this series.
If you are in the Coast Guard in this series, please let us know. We would love to find out what you do. No, I'm kidding.
Rachel would love to find out.
Important things and save a lot of lives and jump on top of narco subs. But you guys do amazing work, so I'm not crapping on you. But
yet
they're kind of fun. But the Space Force is fair game, literally fair game. Either way, we digress back to the race at hand.
As we do come upon less than 3 minutes to go left in the race, Christopher Pais, your race leader in pro. Rodney Campbell holds on still since the drop of the green flag in the open class. And John May, your points leader in the beneficiary class, the class that we love to showcase here at Podium Esports for the Operation eMotorsport iRacing Summer League. He is once again back up towards the front of the field, leading the way in the Mercedes, as he had a little bit of damage to the nose of that Mercedes-Benz, but will still continue to press on in his 98.
Yeah, he's going to try it, and we'll have to see what can come from this one so far. Campbell still seems to be holding off Gonzalez with no real chance to see a difference. Oh, Gonzalez had to slow down there in the... I just saw him off camera actually a moment ago. He was in the fountain turn and just got a little wide, had to slow it down a bit more than he'd like to, and that cost him a bit of time there. But right now, May is looking pretty secure with what time we have left on the clock.
He certainly does. John May has about a 2.2 second advantage over Brock Hogan, our beneficiary class driver spotlight, who sits second. Hunter Reeve, another 6 seconds back in the third place position. Good point tonight, but unfortunate for him, he was so close to having another win here this season. As you're on board, I believe, with John May, as we come out of camera on there, you see him leading the way with 1.5 minutes left to go. We should be seeing the white flag probably. Let's see, where's our race leader Christopher Pais? He's coming up to the line. This should be the white flag lap this time around for race leader Christopher Pais.
Yeah, should be exactly that, and it's been a good one for him. He's managed to get lucky with some spins from the guys who were already with him, so that changed everything.
It certainly did, as Christopher Pais looks to collect another win for the pro class and try to get him a little closer in the points standings to lead the championship for this class. Rodney Campbell trying now to negotiate some lap traffic. He has the Ferrari right in front of him of, I believe that is car number... As we wait and see on timing and scoring, he has the 311 in front of him. That's Chris Ramirez, and the 69. That's Rick Hazlitt, who will let him by as Dave Hines goes around, I think, again. Yes, indeed. He has gone around, coming out of that chicane or that corner there. That will move Brandon Cedric, the Corvette driver in the 86, up to second in pro class.
Yeah, that'll be a huge one for him. Will be beneficial to his points, of course, as... looking at our time now, coming down to 8 seconds, I think this should be our last lap or white flag. White flag?
This should be actually the checkered flag.
The checkered flag. So John May is looking pretty secure here for the beneficiaries class, and Campbell has a good head on Gonzalez, so he looks like he'll secure that as Pais comes across the line.
He certainly is. As Christopher Pais comes across the line, he will win the pro class as well as overall. Rodney Campbell will take home the checkered flag in open class. But it is victory once again for John May in the beneficiary class in the Mercedes. He was able to be patient and take home another checkered flag here at the streets of Long Beach.
Yeah, great race we've seen tonight here, and John May does the same thing for the beneficiaries. Campbell for the open class, and this has been tight, but we've had very clean racing. I'm shocked by how clean this was.
It was very amazing. Looking at the field right now to see which drivers came in to pit, I only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 drivers out of the 24 field. So just about right at the halfway point, and only 2 drivers left the race before it was over. So a phenomenal drive for all the drivers. Great heads up along with sportsmanship amongst other classes. For the most part, as we see the field coming to head down pit road on their cool down lap. And with that, we will give you your full field rundown of tonight's race here on the streets of Long Beach. Christopher Pais will be your overall and pro class winner in his Ferrari, followed by Brandon Cedric in second place. Dave Hines was able to recover nicely to a third place position, while Kurt Poulter will come home fourth. Dustin Burkholter will come home in the 5th position, followed by Jason McSparron, who will be 6th position overall and the last car on the lead lap. Rodney Campbell does it again in the open class as he will win in there and finishing 7th overall. The first car 1 lap down. He'll be out ahead Mario Gonzalez for 2nd in class, 8th overall. John May picks up another great win in 9th position overall as he will win the beneficiary class. Brock Hogan, our beneficiary spotlight driver, rounds out your top 10, coming home second in class.
11th tonight is Huntery from the beneficiaries, third in class there for him, with Tyler Beamon, who I believe is going to be coming home, I think, third for your open class. In 12th, 13th is Tim Bernard from the beneficiaries, with 14th Chris Ramirez of same. Then we have 15th and 16th Rick Haslett and Mark Bray, both open, with John Winker. 17th Joshua O'Connor, 18th, 19th Philip Cartier from the beneficiaries. 20th Glenn Gray of the open class, with 21st being TikTok. There we go. 21st being Tyler Reed from the open class. 22nd Dylan Reddick from the beneficiaries. Tyler Guillemette from the pros back in 23rd, and Justin Jarrett from the beneficiaries in 24th. And that's my director's balls busted, I think, a little bit.
Well, on that note, as our producer will then make the way that our top 3 in the beneficiary class makes their way up here, John May, the first one to join us, as he picks up another win for the Marines, Rachel. And while we wait for John to come up here, what's the current tally for all the military branches?
Well, I'm just going to find out actually real quick, because I'm adding on to these. So we have Brock Hogan second and Hunter Reeve third. So Reeve, I believe, was Army, and Hogan, he better be Army, because, you know, Hogan's Heroes, we can do that as well.
Of course, we got to make sure of Hogan
Do we
Heroes.
have him on the list already? We don't have
think-
Hogan from last time. We'll have to find out. Because I'm looking at my list as well of where people... Oh, no, Hogan, here we go. He's
Drumroll.
Canadian, Army, beneficial. That's good, okay. So, of course, May is a Marine. So that tags him 3 points here.
I think he's the only one who's...
He's the only Marine to score points, yes.
So let's go ahead and bring John May up into the booth as we work on that. John May, you have a copy?
I am here. How are you doing tonight?
We are doing wonderful, John. You survived another chaotic race here at Long Beach. How did it feel to take home the victory once again this season?
Oh, I am telling you, Mark, the Crayon Eater Marines up there on the podium again. It was an amazing race tonight.
It is safe to say you're not the disgruntled Marine, as your tag says.
No, I'm the happy Marine tonight. A little bit sweating, but I am definitely a happy Marine tonight.
Let's talk about this race circuit, Long Beach. How chaotic and difficult is it to drive this track, let alone not just in any car, but in these GT3 machineries?
It is, and I don't know if it's so much physical, but it is mental, because there is not a single break for you to mentally take a break with all the bumps and as rough as the track is, and there's so many quick successions back and forth that it just wears you out mentally.
It certainly is. Well, we do have some more great racing still to come for the rest of the season. The next round we head off to is another tight, twisty, and more adventurous circuit, I would have to say, as we head to Virginia to VIR. Your thoughts on that circuit as we prepare for the next round?
That is my home track. I am from Virginia, so hopefully I can do the Virginians proud and bring home another podium.
Certainly so. One of my favorite end tracks as well. We look forward to seeing you at the next round. Once again, that is John May. He picks up another win for the Marines and another win for him as well this season to extend his point lead, as Rachel has caught up with a hero, a Hogan hero to think about it. Brock Hogan joins us for second place in the beneficiary class.
Yes, he does. So we got Brock Hogan coming up here now. Brock, we got you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Busy race out there for you tonight. It seemed like you three were trading positions a lot today, yourself, along with Hunter and John. Just how is it trying to fight on this track? It's so... I've driven this place before. It's so tight. What is it like having to deal with so many other cars?
Yeah, no, it's a very tight track, so trying to make any move, you have to hope that somebody else makes a mistake. So it's just really trying to stay on somebody and hope that you can force them into a mistake. Unfortunately, you're not hoping they make a mistake, but at the same time, you kind of want the win.
Yeah, absolutely do, of course. And nearly this time. Are we thinking maybe next week might be a good chance?
I'm hoping so. Yeah, I honestly don't even know what track it was next week. I've been focusing on Long Beach. Oh, VIR, I'll be okay, but I've been focusing on Long Beach. Hopefully, I'll take this one. But John was too quick.
Well, there's no water nearby, so John may suffer a little bit. With this being on the coastline, it's kind of his turf. So VIR, it's inland, lots of greenery. Are we thinking positive thoughts?
Yeah, exactly. That sounds like Army territory instead of the Marines.
Exactly. They can't win this time. Please, make sure.
We're hoping.
Well, thank you very much. Of course, you had another 2 points to Army's tally for the Inter-Service Championship, of course, the unofficial one. Leaving Army 14 points clear, along with, I believe, also third place.
That's great to hear.
Well, Hunter Reeves. So, yeah, Army's good. Marines 8, Army 14. Keep it going.
Awesome. Hopefully we keep that up then.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Anybody, before we go, actually, anybody like to give a shout out to our thank Brock?
Yeah, for sure. I just want to shout to Tiff and Diesel and Jason, just all of Operation Motorsport, and Recaro again, and all of our sponsors. This has been great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Brock Hogan. Thanks for joining us. Second place. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And after that, Taylor's joining Hunter Reeve, who finished in third. Also, Army.
Hunter Reeve joins us here after coming home third in the beneficiary class, fifth overall in the GT3. Hunter, talk to us a little bit about what happened in those closing minutes. We saw you lose a little bit of your race car there, but was able to recover nicely. But talk to us about that.
Yeah, I screwed up on my setup. I tried something at the last minute, and it just I just ate on my rear tires, and I was really loose, and eventually just had that little half spin there.
What is that? Just shows the difficulty of this circuit, because for the while before that instant, you had a wonderful run going for you with leading this array and keeping up with the open class leaders.
Yeah, it's a tough track for sure. I've done it with the open wheel cars on iRacing, and it's a lot harder in a GT3 car because it's just so much bigger. So, yeah, it was tough.
Well, Hunter, we look ahead to another twists and turn track of VIR. Your thoughts going to that circuit?
I'll probably, with the Porsche, probably about have advantage on half the track, and that's really it. It's going to be a lot of the cars are more powered. I think we'll have the upper hand for sure, but it'll be fun. It'll be a challenge. The whole GT3 class is super close. I think in practice, top 5 was separated by like 3/10, so it's been fun.
It certainly has been fun. Well, Hunter, before we let you go, who would you like to give a thank you to and a shout out to?
Yeah, big thanks to Operation Motorsports, Tooth Autosport, Recaro, 511, and Mobile One.
Of course, that is Hunter Reeve coming home third in the beneficiary class, as we will see him the next time at VIR next Tuesday night. Now, Rachel, some final thoughts here as we leave the streets of Long Beach and head to America's Motorsports Resort at VIR.
You always certainly do. It's very green, it's very long, it's very twisty, and there used to be a tree at one point which they cut down, which makes me sad. But it is an interesting track. It's lots of runoff, which is beneficial compared to Long Beach. I think people won't know where to go because all of a sudden there'll be space around them. It'll be really strange. But it's a great track and it always promotes great racing, so I look forward to it.
It certainly is. It's a very special track to me. It used to be one of my home tracks before moving back to Florida, so always provided great racing action, and wonder who will survive heading down the roller coaster. So I hope you like going downhill, uphill, and all the craziness of a roller coaster, because that's what VIR pretty much is.
Yeah, absolutely is, and should be good.
It should be, but Rachel, before we go, we have to make sure we say thank you to several very important partners and people here before we come to a close. And of course, it has to start off with none other than Recaro. Recaro, whether it's on the track or iRacing, Recaro Automotive is all about making the driving safer, more comfortable, and more controlled. A driving experience that you can really feel. Recaro Automotive puts people first every time. An ergonomic sitting position means a comfortable position with perfect seats, contours, and innovative features that support your body. Recaro Automotive makes driving fun, be it on the road or on the racetrack. Recaro Automotive performance seats are more than just a set of components. They exude innovation, quality, premium materials, craftsmanship, and a genuine passion for cars. For more information, visit their website at www.recaro-automotive.com. Recaro Automotive is proud to support Operation eMotorsport iRacing.
On top of that, of course, Operation Motorsport is a veteran-led and operated 501 not-for-profit based in Brighton, Ontario, and Raleigh, North Carolina, serving Canadian and American service members and veterans. And it was founded on the basis of 3 simple words: excite, engage, and empower. The premise is to engage ill and injured service members and veterans affected by military service through motorsport activities to aid in their recovery and rehabilitation. To find out more information, please visit operationmotorsport.org.
And of course, we have to say thank you to our series partners for the Operation eMotorsport iRacing Summer League, powered by Recaro Automotive, the USO, and Mobile One. Well, Rachel, it is time to say goodbye, so we will see everyone next week at VIR. But for Jason Leach, Diesel Lauder, and the entire Operation Motorsport team, for Ryan Bauer, James Pike, Cisco Scarmuza, and John Theodore at Podium Esport, for our producer, Gary Sexton, and for my colleague in the booth, Rachel Whiteford, I am Taylor Burris. Thank you so much for watching tonight's broadcast of the Operation eMotorsport iRacing Summer League, powered by Recaro Automotive from the streets of Long Beach. We hope to see you next week at the virtual Virginia International Raceway.